Going live now.
And we are now streaming into Facebook. So welcome everyone. Those that are on the call today, great to see you on the call. And also those in Facebook land watching us live or our recorded session. So thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about moving from being a bookkeeper to becoming a BAS agent. So Sharon Law has kindly joined us today as our guest speaker, who is right in this space and helping bookkeepers become BAS agents. So I'm actually going to let you perhaps introduce yourself, Sharon, of who you are, what you do, and why you're passionate about this particular space for BAS agents. So
Okay.
let's find out who you are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hi everyone. I'm Sharon. I run Sharper Accounting Services. So I've been full-time working for myself for 18 months now, which has gone quite quickly. But before that, I had clients on the side. I worked in corporate and I still had clients that I would service, bookkeeping clients that I would service, at night time and on the weekends. Then when COVID hit and had to work from home, and I decided to move outside of Sydney, and when they wanted me to come back to Sydney, I said no. I went on my own and created Sharper Accounting Services full time. And since I've picked up more clients in the country, and but I've also moved into doing BAS supervision for bookkeepers. And it's a program that I'm passionate about, because it all come about because I employed a bookkeeper who was really struggling to get her BAS hours up. And so we sat down and decided that we could help people do this and help people get up their hours while still having their own bookkeeping business. And the reason that I really want to help people, help bookkeepers, because it's such a good industry to be in. It's really flexible for people to work from home now with all the accounting software in the cloud. It's very, I myself have designed a lifestyle business where I can travel whenever I want, because I can still work as long as I've got internet. And sometimes in regional Australia, that's a bit hard, but as long as I've got internet, I've got a business that I can, continue to work. So that's sort of why I do what I do.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And you've also extended into, you've got a course, or you're now helping other bookkeepers.
Yeah, I have a program that other bookkeepers can join. That is a BAS supervision program. So they can still work their own business, but any BAS services, they work under me through Sharper Accounting Services, and it's and I supervise their BAS and any other BAS services. Because when you say BAS services is a lot of things. It's not just submitting a BAS. There are a lot of other things, designated BAS services. You just have to look on the TPB website. They've got a big list, including coding transactions that have got GST on them is a BAS service. So there's lots of things that that are recognised as a BAS service.
Yeah, awesome. So what we might do is, if anybody's got any questions or want to come off mute during the session, because we've also joined with Kelly Berger is and also a guest on the call today. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining us today. This is also an area that you're passionate in helping bookkeepers get their BAS agent and growing small businesses. So it's great to have you on the call So thanks for joining us.
No worries. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So this will be, an interactive, engaging for those on the call that want to learn a bit more about how to become a BAS agent, what's required, how to do it, how to get clients, how to get their supervised hours. Use this time to ask both Sharon and Kelly. We'll be able to provide answers, provide places to go, resources out there that can help you get started and move your business along. So, and anyone on Facebook as well, pop into the comments or jump over into the Zoom live. We'll look out for comments and questions or come off mute. So Sharon, perhaps we'll start with the very basic question of the difference between a bookkeeper and a BAS agent.
Well, a bookkeeper is very limited in what they can do without being a BAS agent. So anyone can be a bookkeeper. You don't have to have any recognised, anything to be a bookkeeper. The software companies, the cloud software companies would have you believe that anyone can just pick up their software and be a bookkeeper. That is not my view of what a bookkeeper is. So the technical, if you look on Wikipedia, the technical term for a bookkeeper is someone that brings the books up to trial balance. And that's true, but a bookkeeper is so much more than bringing the books to trial balance. Really, you need to be a BAS agent to be a bookkeeper in Australia because it's so regulated in Australia now. Never used to be like that. When I first started bookkeeping, I was doing payroll for a multi-million-dollar company and I had no experience whatsoever, but that was before 2000, that was before GST come in. Right? So anyone can call themselves a bookkeeper, but to be a BAS agent, to actually do the full service of bookkeeping services for your clients, you have to be a BAS agent or be working under a BAS agent. Would you agree, Kelly?
Sorry, I'll just unmute myself. Yeah, I would agree. It's a change of times and it's a change of requirements, and where we are today is very different to where we were, 10, 15 years ago, when anyone can do anyone's books and they didn't really need a qualification. They didn't need to be registered. They didn't need 1,000 hours of actual work experience. So it has come a long way. I'm grateful for the regulation, although some of the training that has occurred, it needs a lot of work still. I think the Cert 4 still needs a lot of work, and I think that the BAS agents who have been doing it for quite some time are starting to get into those realms and starting to change the education around what we do, but it's still taking a long time, and the curriculum is just not up to scratch yet, and I think that's where it's failing a lot of people. So we need to really promote better education to be able to do what we do. I mean, as you would know, Sharon, we get a lot of work that's fix-it work, and and we have to go into the file, and whether our client's done it or a bookkeeper who's not registered has done it, even sometimes a BAS agent, honestly, sometimes we go in there and we're like, wow, what's going on with this balance sheet? It's all wrong, and then we have to go in and clean it up and clean up the transactions. So, I mean, it's come a long way, but we've still got a very long way to go in the industry, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Kelly on that.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm trying to work out if I was muted or not muted. Yeah, there's so much in the legislation too, isn't there? It's very grey. It's very, I don't know. Is there do both Sharon and Kelly, do you think that it's quite grey in what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do? And like when
there's a lot of loopholes.
Yeah, and it's like you're not allowed to code transactions, but well, isn't that all of bookkeeping then? Like, I get that you can't set up a chart of account and choose whether it's GST or not, but in coding transactions, isn't that just?
Well, if it's not for, if it's for someone who's not registered for GST, then it's
not an issue.
a BAS. It's not an issue.
No. But if
So-
they are registered, this is where it gets complicated. And you're right, it gets grey, because if you have to change the standard GST code, you know, for things like, I mean, in Victoria, like Vic Roads, you've got a portion that is GST applicable and a portion that is not GST applicable. Same with some of your state revenues and you know, insurances and that. There is a part where there is a split, and you know, and that's where I think that you need a BAS agent, because understanding how to do that split and you know and how to do it in each of the softwares as well is really critical. And I think that should be a BAS service if you need to change that code at all, whether it be free GST or you know, or BAS excluded or NT. That's where it comes into the grey part, because if they're going to just data entering and they're not changing the GST codes, even though in some circumstances they should be, then they're not doing the wrong thing. So this is where it's really grey, because they're like, well, I can code the transactions because it's got the set GST code in there, but they can't do the split transactions. So this is where I'm like, well, no, you can't. I would say, no, you can't do it unless you're a BAS registered agent to do anything to do with GST. Whereas others are like, well, no, if it's not got to change, then I can do it. And that's the view of the TPB. So yeah, it is a grey area.
Yep.
So can you, if you're a bookkeeper that's not, and you're moving towards getting your BAS registration, and you know, we're saying you can't code, can you do all of this coding and work if you were supervised by somebody?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
because it is the job of the supervisor to make sure that it is coded correctly for each of the transactions.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So Chris has just asked if this is the sort of thing that will teach us in the training for becoming a BAS agent. I don't think it is. I don't think it's anywhere in the training as such from traditional trainers. And this is where people are getting confused. They're thinking, well, it's just data entry. I can do data entry, but no, it's not. There's certain yes and certain no's.
Yeah, when you're like you do your certificate 4 or your diploma in accounting and bookkeeping, they're very general. This is how you know, this is what you do. But like I said before, it's so much more being a BAS agent. And also you'll find that a lot of the training is done on software that is not up to date. You know, so how many training institutions still use MYOB 19, you know, which hasn't got STP, it hasn't got, you know, it's not up to date. So what you really need is up to date training, or what we as a whole industry need up to date training, like Kelly said.
Yeah, and I think like I do work experience days in my workplace because I think, I mean, I've had 90% of people walk in here going, I want to start my own business, but I'm not registered yet as a BAS agent. I want to start my own business. I'm like, great, come in, have a look at what we actually do. And 99% of the time they walk out of here and go, I'm not ready. They may have completed their Cert 4, but they're like, I'm not ready. I don't even know half of this stuff. I've learned through a lot of other people's errors, and that's where I, Krista, if you're in Victoria, if you're in Melbourne, then yeah, you can absolutely book in and come in and see what we do. Oh, well, come for a trip to Melbourne.
Will she get back though? She might get in, but she
I don't know. Damn those borders. No, they're opening up at the end of this week. Yeah, Kate, just get in touch. I'm cool with people coming to my office and seeing what we do. I've got a couple of work experience people here at the moment. But 99% of them walk away and just go, look, I can't do what you do, because the challenges that we actually face and the different things that we face are very different to what you learn in your Cert 4. And there's a lot of grey areas in what we do. So understanding, you know, that we've got all these different areas and grey areas and learning what to do in these situations. You know, with my 60+ clients, we get different situations almost every day that we have to, you know, decide what we're going to do, whether we contact the accountant, contact the client, or whether we create a separate account, or whatever it is that we need to do. But we get a lot of questions, you know, from our work experience people around how do we deal with this kind of stuff. And so it's showing me that the experience that they're learning from their Cert 4 is completely inadequate, and half the people who get their BAS agent registration haven't even done an STP or dealt with payroll. So, you know, there's so many huge gaps. And I mean, we all know, those of us that do payroll, it is a bloody minefield, you know, and it's ideal to have a payroll specialist on your team. But yeah, so again, our education is failing us, and there's too many grey areas for people to just go straight from their Cert 4 into their own business.
So I do offer through the Bookkeeper to BAS agent program is weekly training that we do.
Awesome.
And that's, you know, addresses a lot of those grey areas that you're saying. And I've got material for training for the next year for those grey areas. Yeah,
that's awesome, and I think that's what you need, is that support, isn't it? That, you know, the support, the hands-on. Somebody should be able to ring or jump on the call and on a weekly, you know, weekly training session to be able to ask those questions. How do I handle this? What do I do with this?
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously you follow through and do all of the BAS review for you lodge the BAS, but you know, if somebody's you know done all the hours.
Yeah, well, that's what I do with my mentorees. So I supervise a few ladies, and that's the one thing, is that I make sure that they do all the work. I want them to know how to do it before they get their registration. I want them to understand every bits and pieces, and any dramas that we find with their own clients, then we deal with them as they come up. So they're learning and they're doing everything at the same time, and they've just got me as backup, basically. And that's, yeah, absolutely. We learn best when we're doing things, Krista. And to come back to your diploma question, yeah, look, I think anyone who is wanting to extend their career to a management accountant like I am, and want to do more on the business side of things, the holistic business side of things, not just day-to-day bookkeeping, I think it's ideal.
Yeah, but to get started, you need to do the sufficient education to get your BAS agent, and then find somebody to get your hours supervised with, like Sharon and Kelly, so that you can, you know, get that experience up and have that contact to be able to learn on the job on your own clients, but also building your own business. So it's really hard, like, you know, it's a catch-22. Bookkeepers are wanting to get to BAS agents. They need their experience. They want to go get a job, but bookkeepers that own businesses don't want to put on bookkeepers that are wanting to build their own businesses as well. So it's that catch-22 that they want to employ bookkeepers that are going to stay with them. But if you're wanting to get a BAS agency, you're wanting to have your own clients. So it's that, well, do I want to, you know, bring you on knowing that you're going to leave in, you know, a year once you've got your hours and your clients and so on. So bookkeeper business owners are a little bit cautious about putting, you know, training BAS agents. So it's, you know, that we need to have that solution for bookkeepers to get the hours up to BAS agent and have that training and build your business at the same time.
The biggest problem is the time that we have available to be able to provide supervision. I'm sure Sharon has the same problem, where we need the time. We can only take on a certain amount of people before we go, that's too much, because we've still got our own businesses to run. Yeah,
which I think is what Sharon's solution is the
bridging
solution
the gap
that she's building. Yeah, we can scale.
And I just wanted to comment on what you were saying, Katrina, with the supervision hours. It's not just the hours, but it's actually, if you're an employee and wanting to have hours signed off and register as a BAS agent, it's important to actually have that conversation early on in the piece, because I've recently heard of a couple of scenarios where the the supervising or the supervisor didn't want to sign off on the hours because they knew that they were going to leave and start their own business, or they didn't want to sign off on the hours because they were an accountant. They thought that if they made them a BAS agent, they would take all their clients. So if you're an employee, if you're an employee, have the conversation early. Say you want to work towards getting your BAS agent's license or registration, and if you're not an employee, then that's where you have to go out and find someone that can do the supervision.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is that you've got to be very upfront. I had a employee that was with me in the very beginning, and I knew that she wanted to be an accountant. She wanted to go down that road, so I taught her all the bookkeeping, and then I connected her with my accountant who was looking for someone. So then she was doing 2 days a week with me and 3 days a week with them, and I helped her career path head that way, and she ended up going full time. And that's what I've got a very clear understanding of my staff. My employees don't want to go anywhere. They don't. Yes, they're getting their BAS agent registration, but they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to run a business. That's not who they are. And then I've got the mentorees who do want to run their business, and that's where the supervision comes in. So I'm across all of them, but it is very important to have that conversation to know, who is going to be the employee and who is just going to be, under your supervision for BAS hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that that awkward situation of they want the experience, and some businesses are like you, Kelly, in really wanting to help them build for their own business, so that you'll have a new influx each time. But as you say, you can only do so many.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there any questions from the audience around anything around this topic at all? If you want to pop it into chat or come off mute if you'd like to talk. I'd like to, we'll continue on if you're just waiting for people to chat or come off mute, to talk about, Kate, you've come straight off mute. What would you like to say?
I've recently completed the Cert 4, and probably for the last 12 years, I guess, I've been doing the books for businesses that my ex-husband and I have together. So I've always done the BAS because it's my business, which I think is fine. And then at the end of the year, the accountant signs off on everything and lodges the end of year returns. So I guess we've run a couple of different businesses, so I've had experience over a couple of different types of things. But yeah, I guess I've struggled with knowing that I do ultimately want to work for myself, but I still would like to have more experience over a range of clients. And I guess it's just, I feel a little bit uncertain of how to find, someone to work with to do that. And I guess my other part of my question is the work that I've done for my own businesses that's been signed off by the accountant, can that be hours counted? Or
the TPB won't recognise closely held employees or closely held companies, any work that you do for them as recognition. Recently I've had someone who ran their own business and doing all the accounting for 11 years for their own business, and it was a partnership with their husband, and the TPB said no, none of those hours are able to be used. And I don't know that I fully agree with that, but it's it's the TPB rules that you need to take up with them.
Even if Kate's working on third-party businesses, so it's not her own business, so she's working on third-party businesses, like other businesses, the accountant's signing off on them, that's still closely related?
No, if they're not related to you, like if it's not your business or not your husband's business, and you're doing the bookkeeping for them and the accountant's signing off on them, the accountant is basically your supervision. He would be looking at all of the BASs that you've prepared to make sure they're correct. And that's he's the supervising agent, so you could get him to sign off on things that are not closely held.
Is that the situation, Kate, that you've got businesses that are not, the way I heard you, it wasn't your and your ex-husband's business, it's other businesses. Is that right?
It's businesses I run with my ex-husband. They're our businesses. But I mean,
okay.
yeah, so it's, I didn't know that.
So I've heard that wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, I guess it is just, yeah, I don't want to take on, like, become a BAS agent and then take on clients and then not know what to do with them, I guess.
Yeah, see, that's where the supervision comes in, because you would basically get your own clients, sort out your own, what you're doing for them, and you do all the work, and then you get signed off by whoever's supervising you, whether it be, you can ask the accountant that you currently work with if they will supervise your work and lodge your BASs on your behalf, or you can try ABN BAS lodgement service, which is another alternative, or you can ask a BAS agent if they would be able to supervise you. The way that I would try to connect with another bookkeeper would be to attend your meetings, whether it be a pure bookkeeping meeting, whether it be a ICB meeting, an ABN meeting, an AAT meeting. Go to one of those, coffee club meetings that they have all over Australia, and just connect with other bookkeepers, BAS agents in your area, and try and, and just ask the question, I'm looking for a supervisor. Would you be interested in doing that for me? Do we need to have a few more coffees? Do we need to get to know each other better? Would you like to see what I currently do to explain, that I'm not a newbie. I've been doing this for many years, but, another look at these things never hurts. So that's how I would try and connect to a supervisor in the area. I'm personally not taking on any until next year, because my mum's got an urgent surgery to be had in the next 3 months. So I really don't know where I am at the moment to take anybody on. But next year I'll certainly be looking for a few new ones, because the ladies that I've got have just applied for their BAS agent registration. So they'll be off, and I'll be taking on a few new ones. So, but that won't be until next year.
I'm probably not looking until the new year. I'm actually going to, before I do this, I want to take 3 months to take my kids away and not have to worry about it. So
yeah, no, definitely do that before you start with clients. Absolutely.
And then I figure I'll come back mid-year and then really apply myself. So
yeah, look, you guys can connect with me in the new year, and if I've got space, I'll certainly connect with you and let you know. So yeah, absolutely. No worries.
So we've got space in Scarborough Bookkeeper to BAS agent program, and I'm going to be running a more in-depth webinar tomorrow at 3 if anyone's interested in that program. So that'll explain everything about the Scarborough program.
Yeah, do you want to pop a link
awesome.
up into the chat?
Yeah, definitely put up a link.
Yeah,
needed.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely is. And Sharon, you're very modest. I've spoken at length with Sharon about the program that she's running, so it'd be good to head to the webinar to learn a bit more. But it is very much taking people from bookkeeper to BAS agent. So it is not only weekly training, but it's also Sharon is. I
do monthly one-on-ones as well. Monthly one-on-ones, weekly training, and then we also have a Slack channel that I use all the time. So there's always got contact. Always able to have contact, because the TPB does specify that you have to have adequate supervision and control. Yes. So it's either you don't take many people on, or you have a full program that is, designed to give the adequate supervision and designed to be able to help bookkeepers, collect their hours and still, while maintaining their own autonomy as a a bookkeeping business themselves.
So you actually you do the supervision as well. So it's not just the course and the support, you do the supervision.
Yeah, it's not really a course per se. So it's a program, and you stay in the program until you get your, you don't have to, but you stay in the program until you get your BAS agents registration. And then, I've got one person that become a BAS agent last week, right? So then I'm going, I will be doing a few trainings with her, and then getting her to help with the BAS supervision, because there's only 24 hours in a day. There's only one Sharon. So I will be putting on some BAS agents to help when the program expands to too big, to more bigger than what I can handle myself,
Yeah. So if you want to put a link up for the webinar, or just an email, whichever, because I think that's it, is bridging the gap. And you've been doing this, the particular Bookkeeper BAS agent for several months, and had you've got a dozen or so people in it, haven't you? You've got
I've got 10 now, and so it's building up.
How many do you think you can realistically take on?
Well, I think because for me to do the supervision full time, I think 20 is enough for one person. But like I said, I'll be having other BAS agents come and do supervision as well. So my plan is to have 100 bookkeepers and 10 BAS agents.
Okay,
that's
beautiful.
One on 10 sort of ratio, and then we'll see where it goes from there, but I think like I said, you have to have the adequate supervision. And if somebody's in the middle of doing a BAS, or in the middle of doing a payroll, and they have no contact to anyone to ask questions, or because it's more than just reviewing the reports. It's also making sure that they know what they're doing, that they're confident in being able to process those reports. And
especially in the first few months, it's very critical that you've got that real hands-on. That's why I only take on a couple of people a year, because I that way I can have that time with them. And when we get towards, their 1,000 hours, it's more of, I just need the reports and I'll just check everything, because I know that we've done that hard work at the beginning to make sure that they understand what they're doing and they've got the processes set up and that they're all good to go. And then I just need to review, towards the end of their hours, which makes it, less time consuming for me. But it's very time consuming. So, that's where it's great to have someone like Sharon who's doing these kind of things, because there's a lot of people that need services like this, who can help them along in their technical skills, as well as do the supervision. So I think that's fantastic. And Sharon, once you've got that second person on board, if you want to post something in my groups, just send me a message, and I'm happy to do that, because I know it's desperately needed.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that nobody else has done this earlier. I mean, ABN BAS has provided it for many years.
Look, I thought about it, but it's too time consuming for me to even consider it, because I've got my own team and my own clients, and I run 4 businesses. So, but and I know a lot of other people have tried to do the same, but again, their own businesses, especially during COVID, just exploded, and we went a bit nutty. So I'm hoping that other people like Sharon come on board and just go, hey, I can do this for you, and here's my structure, and here's my intent, and here's your training, like Sharon's done, and be able to develop some better bookkeepers, better BAS agents, really.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Amanda,
this is actually a really great forum. My background is, I've been a bookkeeper, I was in marketing and all that sort of stuff, had children, so I retrained. So Kate Buchanan, I know that feeling of when you're wanting to get started don't be afraid to just make phone calls. And I used to look at job adverts, and a lot of them say they want experience. So as trying to transition into that new career and they want experience, but you don't have any, I just kept ringing. I think I made 50 phone calls, and by the end of it, I had 3 job offers. So don't be afraid of making that transition. You just have to pick up the phone. There are people out there like your Sharons and your Kellys that do help. I guess what I'm getting to that stage, I retrained when my son was born, so I spent my maternity leave retraining. And then I've worked at different either bookkeeping agencies, and I've had times where I've had my own clients. And then 3 children later, I've got my last one going into school next year. So I'm really ready to take a step up. I want to, I feel like, okay, I want to get a BAS agent. I want to get my BAS agents, and I want to have my own clients again. And it really is that lifestyle business. And I guess I'm listening to you guys, and I love the idea of these programs, but I guess I'm sitting here going, I've actually nearly got 10 years experience, but I haven't found anyone or had the confidence to really ask those questions of, will you be my supervisor or sign off on hours? Because I do feel that, they will employ you, but no one wants an ambitious bookkeeper. They want a bookkeeper that wants to sit there and just data entry. So I feel like for someone like me who's going to transition next year into leaving the bookkeeping place that I work to then, get clients, and I'll just have to start that door knocking again. But how do you, I guess I'm feeling like, do I already have enough hours? How do I know when I'm ready to be a BAS agent? I've done lots of work, from doing payrolls and all sorts of clients and all sorts of things. And I'm now listening and thinking maybe I've got more experience and I'm more ready to be a BAS agent than I thought. Maybe I'm underestimating myself. And I don't know if I am or I'm not.
You can approach any of your employers over the last 4 years to sign off on hours. So the TPB say any experience in the last 4 years can count towards your hours. So as part of the onboarding program into the Sharper program, I do talk to people about where they're at and what experience they've had. And, there's been a few people that I've just said, look, just apply and see what the TPB say. And they've done it and they've become BAS agents, and now they're BAS agents. And I would say the same to you, Amanda. If you've got experience, if you've been working as an employee over the last 4 years, just approach your employer and ask them to sign off on it.
Okay, I guess what I'm worried about is that I think when you sit in the box of I've done lots of work and different work, but they kind of silo you into, you just do this, and they don't, I prepare, I do all of that, the entry and the coding and, payroll and reconciliations and all of that. And I deal with my clients one-on-one, and I'll send them reports and bits and pieces. But I don't feel like I don't do anything with the ATO portal, or I don't reconcile loan accounts between businesses and things like that. And I'm worried that I guess I don't know what gaps I don't have.
Can I just answer that? I do a 1-hour coaching session through Bookkeeper Support, and the whole purpose of that is to get you over whatever hurdle you're currently at, to learn, to grow, to, whether it be business related or technical related. If I can help you, then you book a 1-hour session with me and I go through it with you. And, I do, the only thing I don't do is trust accounting. So I don't deal with real estate or lawyers, thank God. But everything else, I know Xero, I know MyOb, I know QuickBooks, and I've got companies with multiple entities. So, the intercompany accounts, all those kind of things, and using the BAS agent portal for the first time, if you want me to hold your hand, I'll hold your hand. I'm there to support you in whatever you need to get over that hurdle. So, and you can book an hour whenever you need me. I'm not one of those people who you have to book and it has to be like a 12-month long contract or any of that. I am a 1 hour, I get you over that hurdle, and then you come back to me when you need me for something else.
Okay. Can I ask you, what's your business name? Okay,
so I've got Bookkeeper Support.
Bookkeepers.
which is so I've got a whole heap of training videos on there that you can buy, fix-it workshops, client setups, all that kind of stuff is all on the website as well for you to purchase, and they're just tutorials and paperwork and stuff so that you've got something there as a basis. It's all very basic. I'd like to keep it simple. And I also run my own bookkeeping practice, which is Business Simplicity. So I've got we've got 4 staff in there, and then I run Birds of Transport. So we've got tipper trucks, and I also run the Devil's Workshop, which is downstairs building old custom cars and fabricating and all sorts of stuff. So I'm a multi-talented person. So yeah, anything business related, management related, software related, you know, most things I can do. So just shoot me a PM, shoot me a message and just say, hey, you know, what can can you help me with this problem? And I'll go, yes, book a session, here's the link. If I can't help you, I will generally know someone that can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
No worries.
Awesome. It's great to connect with both Kelly and Sharon, you know, and you've got your bookkeeper support group, so you can connect, you know, you can find Kelly at any time. Sharon, do you have a Facebook group or page at the moment, or you're setting one up?
Yep, Shabra Accounting Services, but there's also the Shabra Bookkeeper to BAS Agent program page that I've only just opened it yesterday. So
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's, you know, asking those questions, finding the people that are in business to help you succeed and you know, move over to being a BAS agent. So Kelly and Sharon are the girls in the industry that are in this space. So reach out to them. Don't feel as if you're isolated or can't get started, or you know, you've got a block. Reach out to the community. You find the bookkeeping industry is just so generous and just so wanting to help everybody. You know, that's you know, one of the reasons why, you know, I've did this power hour, because there is a need to help bookkeepers build up their experience and qualifications and become BAS agents and building their own business. So Pure Bookkeeping doesn't specialize in bookkeepers to BAS agent, but we've got these resources to be able to do that. So, you know, hoping for those bookkeepers to build their businesses so that they can grow and manage their own finances and help other small businesses like build their dreams.
Absolutely. And I am running a whole heap of retreats next year through Bookkeeper Support, so keep an eye on there. I intend to be on in almost every state of Australia next year running a retreat, and it will be based around upskilling in the management skills and also making sure that you're setting up your business and maybe even tweaking it. So we do, you know, your business plans, and you know, we may upskill in cash flow reporting and job costing and all sorts of things. So there's always that available to you next year as well, and it's just a weekend away in a beautiful beach house, and you know, you learn stuff and you connect with other bookkeepers in the area, and we have a lot of fun. So but that's just another opportunity for you when you're starting, or you know, you're ready to build your business. That's another one. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, is there any other questions? Anyone come off mute? I'm just having a look through. I'm not sure, has Kelly, have you been answering the questions along the way? I feel as if, Krista, did you want to come off mute? You've asked a few questions. Have you got all of your questions solved?
Yeah, hi. I think I've got all the questions. I just tried to join, well, I just entered my information in the bookkeeper support group, but then it said it's not for, I can't remember actually, and now I'll flip the screen, but I just wasn't sure what that was for.
It's not for students in general, but what I'll do is we try and put the students in the student group while they're still learning, but if you're casually employed as a bookkeeper, then you can absolutely join us in that group.
As a bookkeeper on and off for probably, I'd say, close to 10 years. For the last sort of 12 months, I've been doing a small businesses books, which, and when I say small, it is quite small. It's just a one-man band, and I do his books. I just did a short casual stint for a really large business, actually. I did some free work for them. Then they sort of offered me the position. I thought, wow, this is great. This is, you know, probably a dream job, or what I thought. And they turned out to be awful. Like I won't even go there, but it just made me, and 2 years ago, I was kind of let go from the position that I was doing, which was business manager. So I was kind of doing everything from, you know, payroll to a bit of HR to obviously all the accounts and stuff, and then working with the accountant that business had. We had about 20 employees. You know, all the super and all that sort of stuff. And I just put off. I don't know if Katrina remembers, I have spoken in this group before. I've been putting off starting my own thing for such a long time. And, you know, a couple of weeks ago when I worked at this place and I literally left there in tears, I just thought, oh my gosh, is this not a sign that I've just had such bad luck with employers? And yeah, I think this is just a sign, and everybody's saying to me, you need to start your own business. You need to do, I mean, I've run businesses before. I've had my own hair, beauty, massage studio many years ago. And yeah, worked in a lot of industries, different, you know, positions. And my goal is to have my own, I guess, you know, bookkeeping business as such. But I also want to expand in the future into, you know, doing other things, and yeah, but I obviously want to start here doing the bookkeeping stuff because I love it. I love it. My friends don't understand that, but I just love doing this sort of work, and I want to get paid for it. I'm a single mum. My son's just turned 18, and it's time for me now, and I'm really, really, you know, keen to kind of yeah, get things happening, and I guess I'm just scared. I don't give myself enough credit probably, and I think because I'm not qualified, I'm very, you know, everything that I've always done, whether it be beauty or, you know, different things that I've worked in, I guess I've been qualified. And so I suppose I think, oh, why is someone going to want me to do their books when I can't say, you know, I'm not an accountant. I don't have my diploma yet. I actually paid for a diploma with an online, what do they call, like online training place, and I actually didn't end up starting the training because I took another job last year. So I've paid for this course. I haven't actually done it. I've just contacted them, so I'm waiting to hear back from them. I've been putting off everything because, like I said, I've been helping family, you know, my dad's unwell, my niece has been unwell, and I kind of just been helping everybody else and pushing my stuff aside. And now it's like, right, 2022, it's my time now, and my boy's old enough, and I'm so ready, like so ready. So yeah, I just want to kind of get out there and start now. But I guess I'm just a little bit like, yeah, knowing that obviously I'm not a BAS, you know, agent. I don't know whether it's different here in Adelaide or whatever, but yeah, now I've just got all the questions because I'm so excited and want to get started. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I've just rambled on. So
no, that's all good, and it's a similar story to other people, as you know, Michelle had mentioned. She's glad to hear that story, that you would feel isolated and stop from starting, or, you know, having that encouragement to get started, that motivation. So it's good to hear other people say exactly the same thing, and you know, joining into the community. I think that's one of the big thing, is getting your experience, or getting confidence, talking with other bookkeepers in a similar situation, and that have also gone that next step. They might be, you know, 1 year into their BAS agency, whatever. It's talking, getting that confidence, that you're on the right track, that you can do it. I mean, you know yourself that you can do it. You just got a little bit of you know, the back of your mind.
There's been lots of ups and downs, lots and lots of ups and downs, and I feel, like I said, I feel kind of like so many sort of things have happened, and I've kind of keep keep pushing it aside. But now it's like, you know what, this is sort
Time
of
to do it.
a new year, and I'm about to do, I don't know if you've heard, it's called the NICE program. I don't know if that's actually a national thing or not.
It is a
Yeah,
national thing. Yep.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. So I'm about to start that. I actually made the phone call, and she said to me, oh my gosh, like, yes, join with us, because there's a few providers, and she said, come with us, you sound great, you sound like you're going to be really successful, come and do the course with me. So I'm starting that on the 30th of this month, and they break for over Christmas. And I kind of sort of said, you know, I'd like, I'm envisaging the 1st of Feb as sort of like a, you know, inverted commas launch sort of thing for the bookkeeping. Obviously it would just be basic bookkeeping. I can't obviously offer anything else, but I think I just need to start. Otherwise I'm going to procrastinate and you know, keep procrastinating like I have. But yeah,
that's right. It's just starting. It's just making that start and in your own mind as well. Kelly, did you have something to say to Kristen?
Yeah, so a lot of bookkeepers that I connect with have what we call imposter syndrome. So we think like we're a fraud. We don't think we've got the experience. We don't think we've got the know-how. We don't think we've got enough nous to run our own business. And that's, you know, I mean, I deal with that on the odd occasion where I have this down in my head. Can I really do this? I mean, I've got 4 businesses now, and I'm like, oh, I've got my 5th one in the works, you know, and I've got a 6th one that I want to do as well. So it's like, oh, crap, can I do all this? And I can. But the thing is that you've got to tell yourself, I've got this, I can do this, I've got the support, you know, you've got the support of me, you've got Sharon available, you've got Pure Bookkeeping available. There's so many avenues of support available for you, so that if you do fall down, we will help you back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're never alone in this industry, and that's the reason I created the Bookkeeper Support Group Australia, is because I wanted to be able to connect with other bookkeepers and just kind of go, oh my God, am I going crazy, or do I need to do this, or what do I do here, or what do I do there? It's a virtual work water cooler basically, to ask questions and stuff, and that was the whole reason.
I love the whole community sort of thing. I think it's really important, and maybe if you'd asked me a few years ago, I would have said, oh, I don't need that. I'm okay. You know, I'm not someone who has loads and loads of friends. I think as I've gotten older, you know, you kind of
you cull them.
I'm very picky.
Selective.
And, you know,
and that's not a bad thing.
That's absolutely right. I'd much rather, you know, I have my few really good close friends and family that you know you can count on, and I'm just learning more and more that it's, you know what, if people aren't supportive, that's okay. Well, you know, let's move on to the people that
find
are.
your tribe. Find your tribe, and you know, that's in the businesses or the support that Sharon and Kelly give. So reach out to these ladies. Sharon, you've put your link up for the webinar for tomorrow, and also a bit about your program up on the chat as well for anyone to grab.
Yeah, there's a link to the webinar that I'm going to do tomorrow, which is an in-depth, you know, this is what the program is. And I've just put up the Facebook page for the program. You're welcome to message me as well if you want to ask any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll also, Sharon, get you to pop it up into the Facebook Live for those watching. Pop it up there as well. So I'll give you we'll find the link when we jump off this. You can pop it up there so people can access it through the Successful Bookkeeper Australia group as well.
And if anyone wants to private message me on Messenger, you know, for chats, as in, you know, getting started and all those things, I'm more than happy to do that. That'd be great. So
nice.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Are you a member of both the groups, the Bookkeeper Support Group and the Successful Bookkeeper?
I just added her to mine.
Okay, yep. So you're in the Successful Bookkeeper, Krista? I think you might be.
Yes, I am. Yes.
So you can reach out to people in there as well, and ask, who's in Adelaide, who wants to catch up.
There's a lot of Adelaide we did a bookkeepers retreat down there and met quite a few. So there's quite a few in Adelaide.
I was there.
Yeah,
Okay. Because I don't know any, and that's the thing, I don't know anyone, so I feel stupid thinking to myself, okay, I wouldn't even know where to start in regards to rates. You know, I know what I get paid when I have done, you know, like at the moment I'm charging him $35 an hour to do the casual stuff that I'm doing, and I have no idea. I don't know whether that, like, yeah, I don't know what.
Gosh, I think the average, Kelly, I've got the average from ABN is around $74.
For a registered BAS agent, it's between 65 and 120 per hour. For a non-registered agent, bookkeeper, in general, it's between 45 and 65. Because what you've got to take into consideration is not only, you know, you need a computer, you need your insurances to pay for, you need, you know, you need to be able to cover your holidays. You know, a lot of people don't factor that in. If you need to go pick up paperwork, well, that's car expenses. If you need to go on site, again, it's expenses that you need to fork out. So you've really got to look at all these things and go, you know what, if I put myself on $35 an hour, by the time I pay for all of these things over the year and any subscriptions you may need, then you're not even making minimum wage. It's a waste of time.
No. And yeah, absolutely. And I know that I'm pretty sure that when I start my own thing, I'll be, this guy's not going to be happy. He's going to, you know, puff his chest out and say, because that's what he's like anyway. But luckily I don't have to converse with him. It's all by email. But I feel that I'll be so ready and happy to sort of say, okay, well, this is what I offer. This is what I charge. Take it or leave it, that's fine, you know, but I'm not.
That's where you've got to be. You have to be that way. You have to be, I'm this amount and this is, you know, and I've had people turn around and say, well, $75 an hour, which is what I'm on at the moment, plus GST, that's too expensive. I'm like, that's fine. See ya.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to get into a wages, an hourly rate debate. I did that when I was early stages, and you know, and I got the crappiest clients because of that. So yeah, always stand your ground, and you know, if they turn around and say that's too high, that's fine. Go and get someone who, you know, suits your needs better, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you've got to be firm. You've got to be in your head when you're answering those kind of questions. You've got to be firm, and you can't back down. You can't have a quiver in your voice. You can't, you know, you've got to be very firm with them.
Yeah.
And you might, your new clients, you might start, you know, if you're currently on 35, you might start on 50, 55, and then the next new client. So you get more and more strength or confidence in the way that you portray the price, and you start believing it, and people start accepting it, and people value you, and then it's just the momentum goes, and then you can get up to your $75 an hour, and you don't have a problem in, you know, asking for that. Or then you
especially when you get registered,
pricing.
You know, as soon as you're registered, fees go up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably where, and you know, like I said, I had no one to kind of base or even ask where to start, or what do people actually, you know, what do people charge, and how, and just literally, you know, okay, I've got to obviously, like, I'm MYOB trained. I'm absolutely so excited to sort of learn Xero, because I've wanted to for ages, and I know that's probably one of them. I guess, from what I know, MYOB and Xero are probably the two that are mostly used, I guess, in like generically in bookkeeping. Would that be?
Yeah, MYOB, you've got the top three. So you've got MYOB account, right? You've got Essentials is coming up, but it's shite. And then you've got Xero and QBO. So those are the top three. Pigeonholing yourself into one software, like we have had, I don't know how many Xero crashes over the last couple of weeks. So I'm grateful that I have MYOB clients as well as QBO clients as well as Xero clients, because I can just switch. My staff can just switch.
Would you guys suggest just starting off with like because I know MYOB, I mean, I got a certification in it, like, I don't know, probably 15. Well, actually before my son was born, and he just turned 18. So I first used it all the way back then. And like I said, I've opened Xero, or like I've played around on their you know, website.
Go with what you know. Like if you know MyOb, you're comfortable in MyOb, go with what you know until you start learning more into the Xero.
Okay.
Your client might come your way that is already on Xero, so then, you know, it's good ground to learn from. But, you know, initially go with what you know. I'd suggest. Find your tribe so that you can, you know, bounce these ideas off people. We've got to finish up our call for now, you know, we're at the top of the hour, so we won't continue.
You've got a couple of groups where you can ask questions, so just throw them in the groups. We're all very supportive, you know, and for both of our groups and Sharon's as well, and you know, we're all here to help. So just throw your questions in the group, and as far as I'm concerned, the whole reason that I have the group is no question is a silly question, you know, even if you, because some of us haven't done things for years and we go back to it and we go, oh, how do I do that again? Like, it's not a silly question as long as you do it right and you get the information that you need.
Thank you.
That's what you can get away from today is finding your tribe and asking every question that keeps coming up, because we could go on forever, literally. Like, because there is so much to know and there is so much to learn. So find somebody that you trust, talk to. Sharon's got her group going, which is, you know, the constant contact, which is awesome. And as Kelly said, the Facebook group. So thank you so much. We are at the top of the hour, so I'm going to close off the calls. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. The links will go up into the Facebook land on this Facebook Live. And look forward to seeing you somewhere in the community in the future. Thanks very much,
Katrina.
Kelly. Thanks very much, Sharon.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.